This is the Newmowa remote selfie screen. So this is a very small device. As you can see, it has a 4-inch diagonal display. So the display is a little bit smaller than my iPhone 16 Pro screen size, but this thing is full of features. So fundamentally what it is a remote monitor. So on the iPhone, like right now, I'm using my iPhone to make this video. I cannot see what the camera is filming because I'm using the front-facing camera. So I have this set up. I know roughly where the camera angle is. I know what it sees, but I don't actually see it in real life. So if I want to make very fine adjustment, I cannot. With this guy, though, I can screencast my iPhone iOS screen onto this so that here I can actually see what exactly the camera is seeing. So it's a very, very useful device. This guy makes 2.5 connections to the iPhone to make this work. First of all, it broadcasts its own Wi-Fi. So when I switch it on, I can connect my iPhone to this guy's Wi-Fi, and after that, I can screencast that screen to this. So that is basic operations, and some other brand of this screen does that. But secondly, this thing pairs with my iPhone using Bluetooth, and when that is paired, this button here, which is a shutter button, works. So I can use this button here to start and stop recording, or take a photo if I'm in photo mode. So that is very, very useful. I said 2.5 because it does one more thing. What it requires is for me to put the iPhone into accessibility mode and enable accessibility zoom. Once I have that, this screen is actually a touch screen. And I not only can see what's on my iPhone, I can actually operate my iPhone by tapping in and moving it. So it is very, very useful. Now I've been talking a lot. Let me just show you the rest of this device, and I'm going to show you how to make the connection and then let you see how it works in action. So it's very well built. It has a plastic cover, plastic case rather, which is lightweight, but it works. Has a MagSafe ring, so I can also MagSafe this onto the back of my iPhone if I'm just doing vlogging by holding the phone up from a distance. But in a studio, I'm actually using this on my desk. It has USB-C charging, and you can actually have a USB-C connection as well if you want, but it is better to use it in remote mode, I think. And then a whole bunch of control buttons here. This is the shutter button, as I said. The power button is here, and these two buttons let me flip the display so that I can have it in mirror mode, and I can also flip it up and down. So depending on the orientation, you can adjust what is shown here, and you can also adjust the brightness. That's 3 levels of brightness. And then these zoom buttons, again, once I have the accessibility settings on, I can actually remote zoom the camera as well. I find that the zoom buttons work partly with Blackmagic's app, which is what I use to make these videos, and it works fully with the iPhone built-in camera. But honestly, I never do zooming this way anyway. I tend to preset my camera, so I don't use this button very much. So a lot of talking. Let me show you how this works. All right, so I'm going to switch on the device by pressing the power button. And then the instruction actually is here to show you how to connect. So that's kind of nice. You don't have to remember. First step is Bluetooth, and then second step is the Wi-Fi. Now, because my phone's already paired, let me show you here. My Bluetooth, as you can see, it is already connected to it. So Bluetooth is connected. Then you can use the QR code to do the Wi-Fi. Let me try to do that. Right, join. So you can see Wi-Fi connected. Now, if I go into screencast mode and cast to you can see now my iPhone screen is mirrored. Isn't that nice? I'm going to turn on the camera. So now this camera is working, and I'm just going to set this down somewhere. So now my phone is filming my back wall, and you can see it here on the remote display. The mode button can cycle through 3 levels of brightness. I usually have it the brightest. If I hold this down, then it flips it this way. Now if I have it in vertical mode, sometimes the display is upside down, and I can use the power button to flip it upside down. So what happens is, if I have this thing MagSafed onto the camera, right? I'm doing selfie now of myself. You can see that this is upside down. I can click this and it'll be right side up. So this is a very surreal video, by the way, as you can tell, because this camera is filming me and my GoPro that is filming you. Anyway, let me take this thing off. So finally, I want to show you the accessibility control. So I'm going to go into settings and accessibility, zoom. By enabling this, I can use the touchscreen on the remote monitor, but notice how now the screen is too big. So what you can do is double tap with 3 fingers, and that will go back to 1.0 zoom. So everything is actually normal, but at this point, if I have the video app ready, this screen now works. So if I tap here, notice it started recording, and I can stop recording. As I said earlier, I find that the touchscreen is not that useful. Sometimes when I start flipping the screen, you will notice that the left and right is wrong. So right now, if I touch here, it actually activated the zoom because it thinks I'm on the other side of the screen. So the mirroring now is off, and I can try to flip it back, but I'm always having a problem. You don't have to use that. You can use this big orange shutter button. So if I just press here, it starts recording. I press again, it stops recording. So that is a way easier way to do it. And as I said, honestly, I seldom use the touchscreen to do the control because I preset my camera settings. And also, I typically do not use the built-in camera app, but I use the Blackmagic app as well, and that works really well. So this is the Blackmagic app, which is a much better video app. And again, it is mirrored. And to start recording, press a button. You can see it started recording. When I'm done, press it again. So this is how I now do most of my videos, using this little remote monitor on my studio desk and using that as the main camera. So here we go. That was the operations. I know it is a little complicated. I hope you follow that. But now I'm filming back to my iPhone 16 Pro, filming me, and I'm watching myself on my remote here. So you can tell it made my life way easier. I just have this mounted here inconspicuously, and when I glance down, I know where the field of view is. For example, I know that this is the top of the frame, and that's the top of the side edge of the frame and so forth. So I know exactly where the camera is seeing. If something is wrong, I can tell. Anyway, actually, let me show you the front. Here you go. This is what I'm seeing. This is the Newmowa. They're calling the PH02 Ultra NMW magnetic phone vlog selfie screen. I'm just calling it the remote screen for making videos. Go check it out.